I already knew by the look on my mom's face what had happened. But when she muttered the words, "I'm sorry, baby, he didn't make it," I fell to the floor and felt the world crumbling from under me. My dad was only 45 years old when he passed away. He was 2 blocks from home when he swerved, overcorrected, and flipped 3 times. He was the total life of the party and Superman to those who called him Dad. That loss was unimaginable, and I spent the next days, weeks, and months mostly in a daze. It was really hard navigating my teen years without a father figure. I got into some pretty unsafe and situations that could have harmed me or really messed up my life. I was trying to find an outlet for my pain by rebelling, and I quickly learned that I was just digging a deeper hole for myself. My mom was my saving grace. She's a huge reason that I'm up here today. She was a single mom with 4 children and an $18 an hour salary. I watched her bear the weight of providing for 4 children on her own. Somehow she still managed to love me, encourage me, and be there for me through all of life's ups and downs. I'm now a mom of 3, and I can only imagine the silent battles that she fought every day to make sure that we had everything that we needed. I wanted to give a sincere, heartfelt shout out to all of the single moms in the audience today. I'm a product of a single mother who did her best and worked her butt off for her children. You are seen and appreciated. Given our circumstances, I had to grow up really fast. I started working at 15 years old. My first job was a receptionist in the JCPenney hair salon. That came full circle. And then I saw there was a lot more money in the restaurant business, so at 16, I started waitressing every day after school. As a teen, I had to really start considering my future. I wasn't able to be the innocent girl who just went to school, hung out with her friends, and enjoyed the simple life. I worked hard to turn a 1.8 GPA into a 3.8 GPA before I graduated. I became the captain of my soccer team, and I was ready to close the chapter that scarred me in so many ways, but one that gave me a new outlook on life. And so as I moved on to the next stage, I started celebrating the things I had overcome instead of holding resentment. I learned a lot of crucial life lessons at a very young age, but one of the most important ones was realizing I had 2 choices for everything that would come my way in the years to come. Option 1, I could sit here and wonder why all of these hard things are being thrown my way. I could use them as my excuse to why I was staying in the same place, or blame it on the fact that I'm not finding success. And honestly, guys, most people affirm those things. When we feel sorry for ourselves, most people are like, okay, yeah, you're fine, like, just stay where you're at, it's cool. Or option 2, I can understand that life is happening for me, that my story can change my life, and sharing it with others can inspire you along the way to know that you can too. That the very thing that tried to break me was the one thing that taught me how to really live. So I decided that moving forward, I would take my pain and turn it into my power. I left home to go to college in the next town over. I guess I bought into the idea that the only way to be successful in life was to get a degree, and so that's what I did. Whatever I had to do so I didn't have to stress about money again. That was my thought process. I was fully supporting myself at 18 years old, so when I wasn't in school, I was bartending long days and late hours so I could pay for rent, car, groceries, gas, and everything in between. As a bartender, any service industry people in here? Bartenders, you watch people's lives, and it made me wonder, how are these people at an upscale restaurant at 3 o'clock in the afternoon laughing and enjoying life with their friends? It seemed like a life so far from mine. So when I clocked into work each day, I made it a point to learn about what they did for their career. I met hundreds of people and heard their stories about their careers. I learned which ones had the most earning potential, I learned which ones I definitely didn't want, and I even asked to intern for some of them. But none of them really got me excited for the future. And then I met my husband. I met Stan when I was only 21 years old. I was inspired by his work ethic and his eagerness to pursue me. It didn't hurt that he's like 6'3", has a beard, is really sexy, but it only took one date for us to realize that we were each other's person, and we quickly fell in love. I was already thinking about marriage, kids, and the future. Told you, I grew up fast. He came from a quite traditional family where mom stayed home and dad provided. He loved growing up with his mom around and wanted that for our future family. I couldn't believe that the stay-at-home mom life was even something that would be possible for somebody like me. So I quit the bar and started focusing on school and graduation, which was right around the corner. It was interesting having someone take care of me financially. On one hand, it was nice not feeling the load of the financial stress, but on the other, something felt missing. The experiences I've had and the way I grew up instilled a deep purpose inside of me. I wanted to be the wife and the mom, but I also wanted something for me.
That's right.
I wanted to contribute financially so he didn't have to work 80 hours a week. I wanted to have extra money so we could go on trips and create memories with our family. And I also knew the heartbreaking downsides of not having your own income. Because for me, in the blink of an eye, my dad was gone and so was the financial support. If only I could have a way to make money that would give me all of that. Little did I know that perfect opportunity would introduce itself to me shortly after. I joined Monate in my last semester of college with only 5 months left until graduation. It didn't take long for Jackie to convince me to sign up. I started sharing the opportunity before I even got my products. I jumped on every call I could to hear all of your stories. I sent hundreds of messages every single day to get the word out about what I had my hands on. I caught the vision quick and I ran. 3 weeks in, I was going live by myself, training girls on our Facebook page, and hitting every single angle to make this thing work. There's a lot of people in here right now that are waiting for your upline to take the reins on your businesses. Everything that you guys could ever need to run with Monate is on YouTube, Google, the back office, and in our corporate trainings. Plug into them, recreate, share with your team, and repeat it. That's what I did. Within 4 months, at 23 years old, as a senior in college with zero network marketing experience, I hit Market Mentor and earned my first leadership trip to San Francisco. Was anyone else in San Francisco in like 2018? The following month, on December 16th, 2017, I graduated college. The morning I woke up from graduation, I saw my bonus check from November. The number I saw validated my decision to not pursue a career that I didn't want, but instead build a business that would change the course of my family's life as we knew it. Stan and I got engaged a week after I graduated. In March, my team and I hit Associate Executive Director, and shortly after that, in the spring of 2018, I found out I was pregnant with my first son, Stanley. My dreams were coming true. I was able to be a present mom while also making a difference in so many women's lives, including my own. My fire never burned out for my business. Through pregnancy or postpartum, the vision was so clear. I held calls while breastfeeding. I went live after a night of constant wake-ups. I showed up on my stories with my hair in a messy bun and in my pajamas. I took my baby to events. And I want to stress that this was not easy. Some days it was actually really hard to pull myself together. I could have become complacent and fell back on the fact that my husband would provide for us, but that to me was taking the easy road out. That way wouldn't accomplish all of the dreams that I had for my family when I first started. Showing up daily was a decision that I had to make when I felt motivated to or not, because I kept my vision front and center. Now, if you were here in 2020 and 2021, you know that it was a time that was incredible for business. For me personally, there was over 14,000 people in my organization. We were doing multiple millions of dollars in shampoo sales every single month. I welcomed my second son, Sonny, at the end of 2021. My head was in the clouds, you guys. Everything was going perfectly until people went back to work. The economy was shifting. There was more online opportunities coming into the space, and over those 2 years, I didn't realize how comfortable and complacent I had truly become. I didn't think I needed to shift my strategies. It seemed like everything was working just fine, until month after month I started realizing that my team got a little smaller and a little smaller, until eventually 50% of my team parted different ways.
Wow.
Sometimes it felt like things were crumbling. There were days I felt like I wasn't a good enough leader. I thought, was that just a one-hit wonder? Or maybe, if I could just have one video go viral, it will fix everything. Have you guys wanted, like, can I just have one video go viral? Like, my whole life will change? Yeah. I didn't want to come to terms with the fact that there was a lot of growth that needed to happen internally. A lot of people won't talk about this roller coaster that is business building. They're afraid it's gonna scare people away. But I wanna talk about it because I want you to know that next time you are in a valley, next time you don't know how to keep going, I want you to think of me on this stage. I have been there, every MDC member has been there, Ray and Carolina have been there, and the hard times that you face here will teach you more than any reward or rank ever will. And the difference with winners, you guys, is that they know how to snap out of it. They understand that it's a normal part of the cycle and that we're not starting over, we're starting from experience. So how do you get out of that mindset? If you're here today and you feel like you're in that space, how do you get out of it? You get around people who are winning, because there are people here that are winning.
Yes.
Winning. And just like I studied successful people as a bartender, I study successful people here. I call girls with high recruiting numbers. I'm like, girl, tell me what you're doing. Tell me, what are you doing? I jump on calls with women who are breeding other leaders, and I take pages of notes. I surround myself with positive and excited people. I put my head down and I kept working, and I kept being a student. Then, life happened again. One day, after my 28th birthday, September of 2022, a Category 5 hurricane hit our town and flooded our neighborhood, cars, and home. Like, the water was two of me stacked on top of each other. I had my 3-year-old and my 8-month-old baby in my arms, wondering if the water would stop pouring through every opening that it could find. I sat there for a second thinking that there was a possibility that we could not make it out of this situation. Thankfully, the ocean water stopped and started retreating, but then we were left with the aftermath. I remember falling asleep that night in the pitch black with my babies in my arms, going to sleep, and thinking to myself, when is the next time that I will sleep in this house? So the next morning, we packed our essentials, and by the grace of God, my Cadillac started. No, the whole car was full of water. Like, I don't know how that happened, so thank you, Monty. We loaded up the kids in the wet, smelly car seats, and we headed to the next town over, where we would live for the next 3 months until we moved again and again. And for the next year, we would be waiting for our home to get renovated. Oh, and I got pregnant again. Some people asked how I juggled everything through this time, how I continued to earn trips, not miss a month of recruiting VIPs or MPs, staying positive through the hardest year of my life. And for starters, I found Jesus.
That makes a difference.
I feel like I have to highlight this part because I truly believe that without walking into church with Stan and my kids 2 years ago, I don't know where I would have found the strength to keep pushing through. And it showed me that this really isn't about me after all. It's not about us, you guys. It's about all the people that we have to help. And secondly, how could I not? I know what's on the other side of giving up. I know what happens when you choose to be the victim of your circumstances. And I promised myself I'd never go down that path again. As I talked about earlier, I focused on option 2. Find the silver lining here. In this hard and frustrating time, I signed up our brand new MN, Becky, at the kitchen table of one of the rentals. Can you imagine if I stopped working my business during this time where most people would have? I wouldn't have her, okay? I made viral social media content in the shower because that's the only place that had good lighting. Amy Rickaball, we went live. I was in my shower because the lighting was so good. I was like, I can't be anywhere else right now. I held events at the community center where we got new clients. And I birthed my 3rd son, Archie, in a bathtub in the early hours on December 28th. We finally moved back home just this past March. And although my home has been rebuilt, I'm still rebuilding my team and my business. It's far from perfect or easy or fast, but if there's anything that I've learned from my journey in life so far is that success is about challenging your limits and overcoming every obstacle that was put in your way. So wherever you are in your business, if you've been here for 1 day or 9 years, I want to give you 3 3-step simple blueprint to make all of your dreams come true in your business. Step 1, staying in control up here. Did you know that your brain is actively looking for ways to look for safety and stability? And did you also know that in order to achieve great things, you have to step out of both of those barriers? We have to retrain our minds. We have to rewrite the narrative. People are going to disappoint you. Everyone could cancel on your first event, but each time you get back up, send the message anyway, cheer yourself on for doing something scary, you are actively growing the safety net in your brain until eventually you're unshakable. Because it's not about the person who got lucky. It's about the person who was terrified and did it anyway. The one who got kicked on their butt and stood up every single time. So I hope today that you recognize what thoughts have held you back in your own business and you choose to rewrite it. Step 2, action. Big goals require big action. So regardless of what anti-hustle culture has told you, building a business and maintaining a business requires consistency, grit, and excitement. Now, does anyone in here feel like they do a lot, but they're not really doing a lot? Like you're spending a lot of time on your phone, but feeling unproductive by the end of the day? Your business could transform with 1 hour of focused work a day. Not scrolling, not in the group chats. So here's what you're gonna do instead. You're gonna make a power list every day. This list contains 5 things that you have to get done in that same day. Not goals, but action pieces. Here's what this is gonna look like. Brain dumping all of your ideas and notes. This is what you guys are gonna do tonight before you go to sleep, okay? Brain dumping all of your ideas and notes. Texting all of your existing clients about new products. You're gonna post a reel. And you are also going to voice note all of your potential business partners about everything that's on the table for them. And you're gonna go back to your hotel room and you're gonna go live with your excitement. When you cross those off your list every single day, so each day it's gonna look a little bit different, right? But each day, when you cross those off of your list, you're gonna put a W at the bottom of the paper. The W stands for winning that day. You string enough W's back to back, there will be 0 chance that your business does not grow. And number 3, dream bigger. Coming from a girl that grew up in the low middle class with a single mom, I understand that it's hard to believe that so much abundance and goodness could be yours. But since I've lived it firsthand, I need you to know that it can be. Use your hurt from your past as the fuel to launch you into the main character of your dream life. And at first, if you can't dream big for yourself, dream big for others. My first big goals were to relieve financial stress from my mom. And I'm standing up here to say that I've done that. The only limits we have, you guys, are the ones in our own minds. So be delusional about your goals. You cannot play it safe anymore because you could be the next visionary founder. You can be the next MDC member or even the top global income earner in money. So if you haven't given yourself permission to dream big yet and have everything that you've ever wanted, I'm giving it to you right now. So as our time together comes to a close, I want to stress something to you guys. You can leave this room today excited and motivated and then get back home and slip into the same old routine. Or you can go home, put everything that you've learned over the last few days into action and be on this stage next year for all of your accomplishments.
Yes.
It comes from within. It comes from the desire to evolve. If we always do what we've always done, we'll always be where we've always been. It's time to step into that next version of ourselves. I go back to this song because I believe everyone here has the ability to make your biggest dreams come true. You can be that one in a million. Thank you.